Hi, it's me again. And today, we're looking at a little card game called Ohanami by Steffen Benndorf. In this game, you're trying to make the most relaxing garden in front of you. Really what you're trying to do is make 3 rows of cards in numerical order while scoring the most points. But I find that pretty relaxing. So this is a card drafting game. If you don't know what that is, just keep watching, you'll get a feel for it. You'll get dealt 10 cards, and you'll look through all of these cards. Let's see, there's 82, a blue, a green 33. There's 4 different suits. There's green, blue, pink, and gray, and I'll explain why those are important in a minute. But the cards range from 2 to 120, which is important to know because when you lay down your cards, they have to go in numerical order. So let's say I decide to keep this 3, and I'm going to decide to keep this 105. What I would do is I'd take these 8 cards I have left, and I would pass them to my left. This person will keep 2 cards, pass these to the left. This person will keep 2 cards, pass these to my left. That means on the next turn, this is the cards I'll have to choose from. Now, when you're laying out cards, you can have throughout the game, and these stay on the table between rounds. So there's 3 rounds total, and you're making your lines for the whole game. So let's say I put a 3 here and a 105 here. And you may ask, if they can go in order, why wouldn't you just put the 3 here and the 105 there? Well, here's where things get tricky. You can put stuff on the top or below a line. You cannot put things in between. So if I put this here, this line would be pretty much done except adding a few underneath of it. So a smarter move would be to do this, because then I can just add stuff below and make the line go that way, and with this one, I can go that way. Now what do the suits mean? Well, thankfully we have this handy dandy scorecard to help me explain. As you can see, it's broken up into 3 rounds. In the first rounds, only blue cards will score, and you'll get 3 points for each one. In the second round, blue and green cards will score. Blue will be worth 3, green will be worth 4. In the third round, blue, green, and gray will score, being worth 3, 4, and 7, respectively. So while blues are worth the least, there is some strategy to getting some of those because they'll score some in every round. So as this first round would go on, we'd go through looking at our hands, like for instance, let's see, oh, that'd be a good card to take. I'd take that 2 and put that right there, and honestly I'd take that 5 to put underneath there. Now, I hear you saying, but you didn't mention pinks. Hold on and be patient, my goodness. This is what the pinks are for. Throughout the game, the pinks do not score, but at the very end of the game, as you can see on this chart, the more pinks you have, the more points you can score. If you have managed to have 15 pinks in front of you by the end of the 3rd round, that gets you 120 points. So how this goes, you'll do 3 rounds, placing cards out, and see I only have 2 lines here, so eventually, you know, I'd have one right there, starting with 120. I'd probably have like a 65 there, which would mean I couldn't play in between there. So things get more tricky, and it's a hard balance knowing exactly how many of each kind to play. Ooh, that's actually a pretty good set of cards. Because the blues get you quick points, the grays are worth a bunch at the end, the pinks can be worth a bunch, but only if you get a lot of them. It's a really interesting game, and also, because if you're paying attention, you know what is getting passed around, and I know that over here they want more blue, so maybe I'll take the blue for myself. Also, when you take those 2 cards, you are not required to play them. So if I'm pretty happy with my setup, and I'm like, you know what, I just don't want them to have any more pinks, I can take this on my turn and just throw it away. So after the round ends, after all the cards have either been played or thrown away, you deal out another 10, do it again, then you do a 3rd and final round, and then you add up the points. And it's a really fun game. I like it a lot. It's deceptive. You think it's easy, but it's not. Why would you think that? Sorry, that's harsh. But it is actually a lot more difficult than it seems. I highly recommend it. It's very inexpensive. Card quality's nice. It's just a lot of fun. I also just really like drafting games, and that is Ohio, Miami.